My friend, if someone's words can ruin your entire day, I want you to hear something. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not too sensitive or too emotional or too anything. You are human, and you have been hurt before. Let me explain what is really happening. You are not being attacked. You are being shown. Maybe it happened at 2 in the morning. You were lying in bed, replaying something someone said, a comment, a tone, a look, and you could not let it go. It circled in your mind like a storm that would not pass. You wondered why this small thing has so much power over you, why you feel so small, why you cannot just shake it off the way other people seem to. Or maybe it was during lunch. You were sitting in your car alone, trying to calm the tightness in your chest, trying to talk yourself down, telling yourself it does not matter, that you are overreacting, that you should be stronger than this. But at night, alone, it matters. It replays, and you wonder what is wrong with you. I see you, my friend. I see how hard you try to stay calm, how you smile through it, how you keep your voice steady when inside you are breaking. How you tell yourself to let it go, to move on, to be the bigger person. And still, something breaks through. Someone always gets in. You have spent so much energy trying to protect yourself, trying to build walls thick enough that nothing can hurt you anymore, trying to become the kind of person who does not care what others think or say. And yet here you are, still feeling it, still carrying it, still wondering why you are not stronger. Listen closely. Nothing is wrong with you. If someone's words can pierce you, it is not because you are weak. It is because you are human. It is because you have a heart that still feels. It is because somewhere, at some time, you were hurt, and that wound never fully healed. You carry things, my friend, things from long ago, words that were spoken to you when you were young, moments when you felt unseen or unloved or not enough, and those moments left marks, tender places inside you that never quite hardened over. So when someone touches one of those places now, even accidentally, the pain feels new, fresh, unbearable, not because they planted something in you, but because something was already there, waiting, unhealed. This is not weakness. This is being human. This is having lived and felt and carried more than most people know. And I want you to understand something else. You are tired, not just from this moment, but from all the moments before it. All the times you swallowed your hurt, all the times you pretended you were fine, all the times you held it together when you wanted to fall apart. You have been strong for so long. And now you are exhausted. Exhausted from trying to be unshakable. Exhausted from wondering why you still feel so much. Exhausted from judging yourself for not being stronger. But strength, my friend, is not the absence of feeling. Strength is feeling everything and still choosing to keep going, still choosing to love, still choosing to show up, still choosing to try. You are not weak because someone's words can hurt you. You are strong because you have survived every word that has ever tried to break you. And you are still here, still standing, still hoping for peace. So I want you to carry this with you. When someone triggers you, when their words land in that tender place and the pain feels overwhelming, remember this. You are not being attacked. You are being shown where you still need your own gentleness, where you still need your own love. There is nothing wrong with you. You are exactly as you should be, human, feeling, alive, and worthy of the peace you are searching for. My friend, let me explain why it hurts so much. You have been hurt before, and that old wound, it has never fully healed. It sits inside you like a bruise that never faded, tender, waiting, hidden beneath the surface of your everyday life, and then someone says something, a comment, a tone, a look, and suddenly you are not in this moment anymore. You are back there, back in that place where you first learned you were not enough, where you first felt small, where you first believed something was wrong with you. When someone touches that wound, even accidentally, the pain feels new, fresh, unbearable. It does not matter that years have passed. It does not matter that you thought you were over it. The pain arrives as if it just happened yesterday. This is what most people do not understand about triggers. They think the person who said the words planted something in you, that they created the pain. But they did not create anything, my friend. They revealed something that was already there, an old belief, a childhood fear, a moment when someone you trusted made you feel invisible or unworthy or too much or not enough. And that moment left a mark, a tender place inside you that never quite healed over. Everyone carries these places, everyone, the strong ones, the successful ones, the ones who seem to have it all together. They carry wounds too, old stories they believed about themselves, old pains they never fully processed, old fears they learned to live around. But here is what most people do with these wounds. They spend their whole lives trying to avoid being touched there. They change friends when someone gets too close to the truth. They rehearse conversations in their mind, preparing for every possible comment that might hurt. They build walls so thick that no one can reach the tender places inside. They avoid certain people. They leave rooms when conversations turn a certain way. They smile and nod and agree, even when it costs them their peace. Anything to keep from feeling that old pain again. Anything to stay protected. And maybe you have done this too. Maybe you have learned which topics to avoid, which people drain you, which situations leave you feeling small, and you have organized your entire life around not being triggered, around not feeling that old familiar hurt. But my friend, you cannot control the world. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control their tone or their judgment or their carelessness with your tender heart. You can try. You can rehearse and avoid and build walls. But someone will always get through. Something will always touch that wound. Because the world is not the problem. The wound is still there, still unhealed, still waiting. And until you turn toward it, until you give it the love and attention it has always needed, it will keep hurting every time someone accidentally touches it. This is not your fault. You did not ask for these wounds. You did not choose to believe you were not enough. Someone taught you that. Life taught you that. And you have been carrying it ever since. But here is what I want you to consider. What if the trigger is not your enemy? What if it is trying to help you? What if every time someone touches that old wound, they are showing you exactly where you still need healing, exactly where you still need your own compassion? The trigger is not attacking you. It is revealing you. It is saying, look here, this still hurts. This still needs your love. This part of you is still waiting to be seen and held and told that it was never true, that you were always enough, that you always mattered, that there was never anything wrong with you. So the question is not how to stop being triggered. The question is, what will you do with what the trigger reveals? Will you keep running, keep building walls, keep exhausting yourself trying to control an uncontrollable world, or will you finally turn toward yourself with the gentleness you have always deserved? Now, my friend, I want to share something that will change everything. When someone triggers you, they are not planting something new inside you. They are revealing something that was already there, something old, something unhealed, something you have been carrying for longer than you remember. The trigger is not the problem. The trigger is the messenger. It arrives at your door and says, look here, something still hurts. Something still needs your love. Something is still waiting for you to turn around and see it. This is the truth that sets you free, not the truth you wanted, but the truth you needed. Listen closely. When someone says something that cuts you, they did not create the wound. They touched it. There is a difference, a profound difference. They touched something that was already tender, already there, already waiting beneath the surface of your calm exterior. An old belief you formed when you were young, a fear you learned from someone who did not know how to love you properly, a story you started telling yourself about who you are and what you deserve. And that story, my friend, it has been running in the background of your life ever since. When someone calls you selfish and it destroys your peace, it is not because they planted that idea. It is because somewhere, deep down, you fear it might be true. When someone dismisses your feelings and it breaks something inside you, it is because you have been dismissing your own feelings for years. When someone treats you as invisible and it cuts to the bone, it is because you have felt invisible before, and you never healed from it. This is what most people do not understand about anger, about hurt, about the rage that rises when someone says the wrong thing in the wrong way. They think the anger is about the other person, about what they said, about what they did. But the anger is not about them. The anger is about you, about the part of you that agrees with what they said, about the part of you that has believed it all along. If someone calls you worthless and you do not believe it, their words fall like rain on stone. They slide off. They do not penetrate. They do not stay, because there is nothing inside you for them to attach to, no wound for them to touch, no doubt for them to confirm. But if deep down you fear it might be true, that is when it cuts. That is when their words find the soft place inside you and press until you cannot breathe, until you are back in that moment when you first learned to doubt yourself, until you are small again and scared again and wondering if you will ever be enough. This is the truth the Buddha knew. No one can disturb the peace you do not already doubt. No one can hurt you with words unless those words echo something you already believe about yourself. Your trigger is not your enemy, my friend. Your trigger is your teacher. It is showing you exactly where you still carry pain, exactly where you still need healing, exactly where you still judge yourself the way others once judged you. So when someone triggers you, pause. Do not react. Do not defend. Do not try to prove them wrong or make them understand. That is not where your power lives. Your power lives in the question, why does this hurt so much? What old story is this touching? What part of me still believes I am not enough? Because once you see it, once you name it, once you understand that the pain is not about them, but about the wound they accidentally touched, everything changes. The anger softens. The hurt becomes information. The trigger becomes an invitation to finally heal what you have been carrying for so long. You cannot control what people say. You cannot control their carelessness or their cruelty or their inability to see you clearly. But you can heal the places inside you where their words find a home. You can question the beliefs you formed when you were too young to know better. You can speak truth to the parts of you that still feel small and scared and unworthy. And when you do that, my friend, when you finally turn toward yourself with the compassion you have always deserved, something shifts. Words that once destroyed you begin to lose their power. Judgments that once broke you begin to bounce off. Not because you built thicker walls, but because there is nothing left inside you for them to wound. This is the path. Not controlling others, not avoiding triggers, but healing what the triggers reveal. Loving what still hurts, freeing what has been trapped inside you, waiting all this time for you to finally come home to yourself. So what do you do, my friend, when someone's words pierce you, when the trigger arrives and the pain rises and you feel yourself beginning to unravel, you pause. That is the first thing. You pause. You do not react. You do not defend. You do not try to explain yourself or prove them wrong or make them understand what they just did to you, because that is not where your healing lives. That is not where your power lives. Your power lives in the pause, in the space between what they said and what you choose to do next. When someone triggers you, pause. Feel the tightness in your chest. Feel the heat rising in your face. Feel the old familiar hurt spreading through your body like a wave, and instead of running from it or reacting to it or trying to make it go away, ask yourself a question. Why does this hurt so much? Not why did they say that, not what is wrong with them, but why does this hurt you so much? What old story is this touching? What part of you still believes you are not enough? What wound did they just accidentally press on? Because the answer to that question, my friend, that is where your freedom begins. That is where the healing starts, not in changing them or controlling them or making them take it back, but in understanding why their words found a home inside you. Most people never ask this question. They spend their whole lives pointing at others, blaming others, trying to fix others, trying to make the world gentle enough that they never have to feel pain again. But you cannot control the world. You cannot control what people say or how they say it or whether they see you clearly. You can only heal what lives inside you. You can only question the beliefs that make their words cut so deep. You can only love the parts of yourself that still feel small and scared and unworthy. So when you feel triggered, my friend, thank the trigger. I know that sounds strange. I know you want to curse it, to push it away, to make it stop. But the trigger has just shown you something precious. It has shown you exactly where you are still fragile, exactly where you still need your own compassion, exactly where you have been judging yourself the way others once judged you. It has given you a map to your own healing. And that is a gift, even when it hurts, even when it feels unbearable. It is a gift. And then gently you return to yourself. You stop looking at them and you look at you. You stop trying to change their mind and you speak to your own heart, to that wounded part inside you that just got touched, to that frightened child who learned long ago that they were not enough. You speak to that part the way you would speak to someone you love, someone fragile, someone tender, someone who needs your gentleness more than your judgment. You say you are safe, you are enough, you always have been. What they said is not the truth about you. It is just words, words that touched an old wound. But the wound is not who you are. The wound is what happened to you, and now finally you are going to heal it. This is the path, my friend, not avoiding people, not building walls, not trying to control an uncontrollable world, but healing the wounds that other people expose, loving the parts of yourself that still hurt, speaking truth to the lies you learned when you were too young to know better. The healing happens inside, not outside, not in making them apologize or understand or change, inside, in the quiet conversation you have with yourself when no one else is watching, in the compassion you finally offer to the parts of you that have been waiting for it your whole life. This is where your power lives, not in controlling their words, but in healing your response to them, not in building thicker walls, but in loving yourself so completely that their words have nothing to attach to, nothing to wound, nothing to break. You cannot stop people from being careless with your heart, but you can stop being careless with it yourself. You can stop agreeing with the judgments that once broke you. You can stop believing the stories that were never true. You can finally turn toward yourself with the love you have always deserved. And when you do that, something shifts. The triggers lose their power, not because you avoided them, but because you healed what they were trying to show you all along. My friend, I want to tell you what is coming for you. A time will come when nothing can shake you. When someone says something cruel and you feel it land, but it does not break you. When judgment arrives and you acknowledge it, but you do not absorb it. When triggers come, and they will come, but they no longer control your peace. This is not someday far away. This is already beginning, right now, in this moment, in your willingness to see yourself differently, in your courage to stop blaming the world and start healing yourself. You will not arrive at this peace by building thicker walls. You will not get there by avoiding people or rehearsing conversations or trying to control every word that comes your way. You will get there by healing what was breaking inside you all along. Words will still come. Judgments will still come. People will still be careless with their words and reckless with your heart. But you will hear them the way a mountain hears the wind, acknowledged but unmoved. The wind blows, the mountain stands, the wind screams and howls and tries to move what cannot be moved. And the mountain simply exists, solid, grounded, unshaken. Not because it is hard, but because it knows what it is. This is freedom, my friend. Not control over others, not power over their words, but peace within yourself, peace that comes from knowing who you are, from healing the wounds that once made you doubt it, from loving yourself so completely that their judgment has nowhere to land. You are not broken because you get triggered. You are becoming whole by noticing what still needs healing. Every trigger is an invitation. Every moment of pain is a doorway. Every time someone touches that old wound, they are showing you where your own love is still needed. This is sacred work. The work of returning to yourself, the work of questioning the beliefs that were planted in you when you were too young to resist them, the work of speaking truth to the lies you have carried for decades, the work of finally offering yourself the compassion you have always deserved. And it is slow work, quiet work, work that happens in the space between the trigger and your response. Work that happens in the gentle conversation you have with yourself when no one else is listening. Work that no one sees but you. Be patient with yourself. You are undoing years of conditioning. You are healing wounds that were carved deep. You are learning to love parts of yourself that you were taught to hide or judge or despise. This does not happen overnight. This does not happen in a week or a month or even a year, but it is happening. Even now, even as you listen to these words, even as you consider the possibility that maybe, just maybe, you are not the problem. Maybe the wound is the problem, and maybe the wound can heal. Life is unfolding exactly as it should. Every trigger that arrives is arriving at the perfect time. Every person who touches your wound is teaching you where you still need to grow. Every moment of pain is preparing you for the peace that is coming. Trust this process, my friend. Trust that you are not falling apart, but coming together. Trust that every hard moment is making you stronger, not by hardening you, but by softening you toward yourself. Trust that the freedom you are searching for is not out there in a world that finally understands you, but in here, in a heart that finally understands itself. You have been carrying this for so long, these old beliefs, these ancient wounds, these fears that were never really yours, and now you are setting them down, slowly, gently, one trigger at a time, one healing moment at a time, one compassionate word to yourself at a time. And one day, not too far from now, you will notice something. Someone will say something that once would have destroyed you, and it will not. It will touch you and slide off. It will arrive and leave, and you will realize that you are free, not because they changed, but because you did. So this is what I leave with you. You are exactly where you need to be. This struggle is not proof that you are broken, it is proof that you are healing. Every moment you pause instead of react, you are growing. Every time you ask yourself why it hurts instead of blaming them, you are changing. Every time you speak love to your wounded parts, you are becoming whole. The peace you are searching for is closer than you think. It is not in a world without triggers. It is in a heart without wounds. And that heart, my friend, is being built right now, in this moment, through this work, through your willingness to finally come home to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. You are doing something most people never do. You are healing, and healing is the bravest work there is.